Stephanie, the SoCal Stitcher, and I'm back today for my second video. It is Thursday, October 5th, 2017, and before we get started, I kind of wanted to just thank everybody for the welcoming reception I got to my first video. I had a lot of people subscribe, a lot of people watch and comment. In fact, just to show how small the FlossTube community is, I got a comment from somebody that her father taught my father at USC Film School back in the late 60s. My mother and father both knew him and spoke fondly of him, and it's interesting because my mom put my dad through film school, so she worked in the film department, so she knew George Lucas, and my dad went to school with him, and it was just kind of an interesting thing, and just shows you how small, number one, the world is, and number two, even the FlossTube community. So I had some notes, and my printer was not communicating with my laptop, so I'm going to kind of wing it. There are a couple of things I want to just go over today, so hopefully I keep you intrigued. I'm going to show you what I was working on last time and my progress. Bear with me, but I still have not figured out how to show you picture of what it looked like before. So if you want to see what it looked like before, I guess you can look at my last video. Hopefully I'll get better at this. I think I'm going to order a book on how to do this. I just feel like it's just a steep learning curve for some reason with the iMovie. So I'm going to start out with that. I also am going to show you some whips that I didn't show you last time. I have quite a few. I'm going to kind of talk about how I store my whips, how I store my floss for my projects, kind of my thoughts on floss storage. I've been back and forth for many years, and I don't know. I feel like I do it one way, and then a couple of years later I switch back. I'm going to show you a more recent finish, and then one FFO and one antique sampler that I have collected and have framed. So, and then some future plans and haul. Of course, haul. Can't forget haul. Hello. So I guess what I'll start with is where I left off, or what I worked on the past 2 weeks. So the last time we talked, I was showing you this sampler. It's by Perman, which is a Dutch company, and it's on 36 count. Let's see, what is it? I've got the tag on here somewhere. Oh, it's just cream Edinburgh linen. And I kind of explained last time, I didn't know if I was going to like the coverage. I had done it 1/2, then 2/2. So this is 1/2 on 36. I did get to one of the motifs and started that, and also started the numbers and did some of the alphabet. And it's okay. The coverage is it's not bad. I'm going to try and put it up close here so you could see. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's okay. So that's the progress on that one. I worked on that for about a few days after the video that I did last 2 Fridays ago. And then I pulled out the dreaded pumpkins. And this was the piece by Glendon Place, if you remember. Sorry, it's wrinkly. The pumpkin on right over here was the one that only had an outline, basically. So I've been working on this. I've been, filling it all in. I kind of know one of the reasons why I went away from this too. So there's a lot of fractional stitching in here. These paisley patterns are pretty detailed, and so I counted, like, there's 4,000 stitches on this little pumpkin, and this one's like this. I think the smaller of all three of them. The leaves are another thing that's going to be a nightmare. So I really tried to stick with this the whole time between my video because I wanted to have something to show. That's, I guess, one of the reasons I kind of am drawn to FlossTube, is maybe it's going to keep me honest. I know that the April, May, June stitcher, she has a great channel. Used to be Brummy Stitches. You can check out her channel. She's from in the UK, and she's fairly new. And she mentioned that she just being accountable to somebody seems to help maybe get some finishes, and that's really what I'm hoping to do. But anyways, I think I'm going to stick with it a little bit more. I kind of am getting bored of it, but I'm really trying to keep going before I start anything new. So, and I will show you, a couple of the new things that I have and what I'm trying to not start. Anyhow, so I wanted to talk about, I guess, in between things. I'm going to show you some whips. I'm going to show you kind of how I store them as well. And I told you I was going to kind of talk about the floss too. This is one of my projects. It's Ink Circles Garden Stars. And I really like this because it's green. I'm normally a blue person. I love blue, but for some reason, I don't know, I've just been drawn to green lately. And the envelopes that I keep my everything in are Jessie Marie's does stuff. She uses these. These are from Hobby Lobby. And what I like about them is they're all the same size. And I can't show you this, but I got a basket from Hobby Lobby, and it's a metal basket. It has handles on it. And I just stick them all there, all my whips that I'm currently or wanting to work on. I have more, but the ones that I want to work on are in there, and then the other ones are somewhere else. But that's it for another day. So I'm going to just kind of show you where I'm at on this one. So this is another big project. I mean, look how big this piece of linen is. Don't know that I would do it on 32 count again. Like I said, my taste is kind of changing, and I'm trying to go to 40 count. But this is how far I got on this before I, got tired of it and changed. So this is going to be, it'll be kind of neat when it's done. It's just going to be, pretty big piece to frame. So I don't know. It's Ink Circles are really nice. I really like their designs. They can be a little challenging. The middle motif on this, if you can take a look at that thing takes I think 4 skeins, or I don't know, something unbelievable. And that kind of brings me to my floss storage. So for a number of years, I've used floss away bags, and they're great. But what I find is I have a lot of them, and if you're working on a big project, they start to really get I don't know, crummy looking, and stuff, I don't know, they're hard to find if you have a project that has a lot of colors. Just going through them is going through the ring and trying to find the one you want is kind of annoying. So Stitcherista, Danielle, Stitcherista's channel, I believe she's the one that showed this in one of her videos. And these are small little floss boxes. So they're not the ones you get at Michael's or Joann's. I got these on 1-2-3 Stitch, and they're really inexpensive. I want to say they're a couple dollars. So now this is only gonna pretty much work if you're gonna use what do you call it, floss bob, if you're gonna bobbinate your floss. What I do is not only do I put the colors in here, but then I also I scan a copy of the key, the color key, and tape it into the top of the box, and then there's a picture of the design on the top of the box, so I know what I have going on. This, I like this system. I guess kind of to talk about floss for a minute, if you don't mind, we'll just kind of jump into that topic. I won't do this with my silks. I mean, my silks are going to be in floss away bags in a box or 2 boxes. Same with my cotton fancy floss. I'm not going to bobbinate those. So those are in those shoebox storage type things. What I find, why that didn't work, because I did switch to that with my DMC to put them all in those boxes that you can get at Michael's with the 3x5 cards, and you can stick multiples in the bag, and that's great. You can stick multiples in the bag, is great. But to me, it's just hard to see what you have, and when you pull them for a kit, I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. So I decided, I saw somebody else on Stitch Mania had purchased one of these two-sided boxes for their bobbins. And once upon a time, I had bobbinated, then I stopped bobbinating. Then I went to floss away bags. Then I went to the thing with the bags with the 3x5 cards. So my theory on this, and I'm gonna give it some time, is that I'm gonna have like this my master set. This will be my master set. Now I haven't finished bobbinating all of them, so that's, you know, when I watch a football game or something, I can just kind of bobbinate, you know. But this is going to be my master set, and then I did buy another one of these to put my overages in. So if I have duplicates, or if I, you know, when I finish this project, for instance, I can file them back in here. Now, if there is one of these colors, if there's a 732 in here already, then I'll put it in my second box. So just an idea. I'm going to see if it works. One other thing I like about this is it's right here with a handle. Bam. You know, if I have to move, I don't have 8 boxes. I have this and maybe one other one. So we'll see if it works. I'm going to give it the old college try, because I have limited space, and having those boxes all over the place is just, I don't know, it's driving me crazy. Okay, so that's Ink Circles Garden Stars. Another one of my whips, and this doesn't have a lot on it, is the Monopoly board. Now I started outlining this. I know that there's some people that have done this on Ada. One thing I really liked about this is I found this fabric that to me looks like the old Monopoly board, the green color. I don't know if you can, how well you can see it on here, but it's kind of that really light gray-green. So anyways, it's kind of a fun stitch. I mean, if I ever had a game room, maybe you could put it under glass. That would be fun. I mean, it's not something that I'm like, you know, it's calling me every minute. But the colors are really fun. You can kind of see my rings here. I didn't put these in a box, but, you know, there's not that many of them. So the colors are kind of fun. So we shall see on this one. You know, it's another whip, another day. So the next one I wanted to show you is 99 Bottles by Ink Circles. I don't have the pattern here, the actual picture of it. I think you guys have, most of you have probably seen it. And I'm not doing this on the called for linen. When I went to kit this up, I did go to a store, but they didn't have that linen, so I'm using something different. And I'll basically have the first row of bottles done. This pattern's really kind of cute. It's interesting because, to me, how she can get that design from those small little bottles, but you can look at it and you know, if you're a beer drinker, you can know kind of what that is, you know, what that beer bottle is. So it's kind of fun. I just thought it was a cute stitch, and once again, I thought it was going to be a fast stitch, you know. Oh, it's just those little bottles, you know. I mean, that should be, knock that right out. Not. Okay, another one of my long dogs. I think I showed you 2 last time. No, 1, I guess. Bagatelle last time. And then I have this one here, which is the Spirit of Veerland. It's a German, I guess, type looking sampler. And I'm doing this on white Belfast 32 count. Gonna be huge, but I already had the fabric, so I wasn't gonna not use it. So I finished the alphabet at the top. The letters at the top, they're or under the second row, they're all back stitched, which is kind of cool. It made them look really cool looking. I did the first motif and was moving over to the second. I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motifs across on the first row, and then 4, and then a bunch of little ones. The little ones intrigue me. I think that would be fun. These big ones do take a long time. But it's gonna look really nice, I think, when it's done. And this is one that I miscounted when I first started it, and so I had to rip out the first row of the alphabet and the and part of the border and restart it. So that was not fun, but I really liked it, and so I said, you know what, it's worth the time for me to rip it out and just, bite the bullet and do it. So I did it. Another one of my, I'm just going to set this here. Another one of my, I don't want to take this off the Q-snaps, but my whips is, this is a chatelaine. This is Tuscany. And I don't know if you can see the colors. There's a lot of metallics. I don't bead my chatelaines as I'm going. I bead after the fact because I use the Q-snap. I don't have a large space in here to set up my big scroll frame right now, so I'm having to do it this way. And the sad thing about this, I had put this away for a number of years. I had finished the dome practically, and when I had stitched it, there was something I miscounted on one. I think it was like right in here, and so I made everything over one. I don't know. I really messed around with it. Well, after you put something away for a number of years and you knew you messed around with it, but you don't know where or what, I just said, you know what, I'm going to rip it out and I'm going to do it right. This fortunately is all in DMC, so it's not like I'm ripping out a bunch of silk. The black, I believe, is black silk, but everything else is DMC. So I just said, I'm just going to do it. So I started restitching this. I'm almost done, getting back to the point I was before I picked it up again. So this I want to give some time to. Maybe after the first of the year, I'd like to really, really put this maybe as a focus piece and just work on it. I'd like to get it done. It's definitely big and beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of fabric here, so this thing is going to be big. This fabric, by the way, is a pole stitch fabric, and I don't think they make it anymore. It just called to me looking like Tuscan. It looked like a fresco wall or something. So, anyways, that's my chatelaine. Not like Yanni. I mean, Yanni has like a billion of them, and they look beautiful. I have that St. Petersburg one that she has. I have that half kitted up, and I have the chart and everything. But I need to finish one of them before I get into another project. Now, I don't know, I also like some of the whimsical designs like Stitchrovia on Etsy, if any of you are familiar. She's also does a lot in the magazines, like Cross Stitcher, some of the European or the English magazines, British magazines. And this is a design, it's called Laundry. My daughter started watching this after I guilted her into it. She's got 2 little kids. I have a grandson. He's going to be 4 in February, and a granddaughter's going to be 2 in December. So her hands are pretty much tied with dealing with them all the time. She has started to cross stitch. Doesn't have any finishes, and hopefully, as the kids get older, she'll have more time to dedicate to it. But she's really good at like saying what she'd like me to stitch for her. They're going to be having a house built, and so for her laundry room, I showed her this pattern, and this is called Laundry Day. And I really liked the little symbols, like, I don't know, just like the washing symbols off the tag, like the iron and everything. I just thought it was cute, and thought it wouldn't be, it's not going to take that long to do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about this, okay, this project. So here's my progress on this. So not a whole lot. I had originally bought the MCG textile even weave, and I'm going to give you a little story about that. So if you bear with me for a second. So I had stitched this on that MCG textile even weave. And as I'm going through, I'm like, this doesn't look right. Like the stitches look elongated. So I asked McKenna and also Cozy Egg If you look at any McKenna's stitching and sequins, if you follow them, they're and Cozy Egg has a YouTube channel as well. I messaged them on Instagram and I sent them a picture and I go, this just doesn't look right. And so as I started to stitch this square, it didn't look square. It looked like taller than it was wider. And what I found out that this even weave is not really even. So for me, I will never use MCG textiles again. I have this huge piece and I have others. I guess I could probably take them back to Michael's. They're unopened. But I had to restart the whole project. So that's why it seems like, I don't know, it's like taking me forever because I had to start again. So, but it's a cute one. I guess, my daughter hopefully will appreciate it if I decide to give it to her, which I'm sure I will. So it's just going to be, it's not my top priority to work on, but it's kind of a fun project when you just want like mindless, mindless colored stitching. You're just stitching one color, just, knock it out kind of thing. Not very much detail. Okay, I'm almost done with kind of a couple of just some of my whips that I wanted to show you. This is an old one, and I really haven't stitched much. These were from 2015 Stitch Mania. I think it was the Year of Starts, or a start every day in January, or maybe it was somebody else's thing on a blog. But I had a lot of ones that I started and then I never went back to for some reason. And this is one of them. Oh, great. The floss is just laying in here. So this is from this magazine, Sampler and Antique Needlework. This sampler on the front. It's on brown, which I'm stitching it on brown. I think this is Whimsical linen. And all I have really is the border going here. This thread is like annoying, but so just going down the side. A real big progress on this, isn't it? This is a 32 count, and I just wanted to make sure that the linen was big enough and I was going to have enough, so I kind of went down to the bottom here and I was going across. So I like the colors in it. Here's some of the, some of the DMCs. They're real, kind of sampler colors. So I thought it was neat being on the brown linen. So makes me want to take this out again, and work on more than just the border. So once again, just kind of another one that got buried in my whips. So hopefully it will see some light of day at some point. Just don't know when. All right, another kind of my last whip I'm going to show you today. And sorry for I didn't have this one open for some reason. I thought it was, but here is my Hawk Run Hollow. This is the houses of Hawk Run Hollow. I have finished, and I'll show you in another video, the village. I finished and framed it, and this is my houses. So this is I believe it's a Whimsical sand linen, and I'm on box 5. For any of you that haven't stitched these, each box is 94 by 94, so there's a ton of stitching in them. They don't look like, oh, it just looks like it's just a little bit of stitching. Oh, just a house. Right, well, it's not just a house. It's a house that when all the windows are solid, and the really kind of, after I finish this block 5, the weird thing, or the next big thing is block 6, which is next to it there, is a full coverage block. So it's all, the sky's all black. So, oh goody. So I guess that could be my my Black Wednesday stitching, if I could ever get block 5 done. I might pull this out now that I took the pumpkins off the Q-snap. I might pull this out and work on this weekend just to change it up a little bit. The pumpkins are starting to get to me, so I might do that and then maybe return to the pumpkins next week to get the last pumpkin done, and then start working on the leaves, which is another production. All right, so I guess kind of what I was going to show you right now is a couple of finishes. And then I'm going to show you a couple of things I have kitted up. And then some haul. So, finishes. I'm going to start with this one, which was, I guess, my latest finish, which is the Bygone Stitches Quaker Christmas. If you can see it, I kind of took it out of the closet. I have not pressed it. So this is on an R&R linen. I think it's called Straw. I was lucky to go to to the market. Oh, this had to be 11 years ago. With somebody I knew, my friend that owned a cross stitch shop. I went with her, and I was able to buy like a whole yard of this linen. So I still have more of it left over, but I really like I actually saw this finished there, and I really love the design. I did not stitch this though this is with silk, and I think it was Silken Colors, like dark forest green, the red. I could probably find it if I had to, and then the gold. I didn't use the pin stitch though, Vonna. So what I'm going to have to do is go through here real carefully and trim trim all these little pieces of thread. My back's not too bad, but I still have little tails that, you know, I want to get trimmed up if I'm going to ever get this framed. So that's one that's not framed. One that is framed that I want to show you is my Lavender and Lace Firefly Fairies. Try and say that. Oh, fast. This, I had it framed. I love this piece. It doesn't do it justice, me showing it and having it crooked. But it's got beads on it, all the metallics. And after I did Celtic Christmas by Lavender and Lace, this was my first one that I did for myself, basically, and it was, I guess, my second attempt on linen. This linen, if I can, maybe not get the glare so much, it was dyed to give that effect of the fairies with their wands. So I loved it. It was a fun stitch, having the blues, the reds, and the greens. It was just fun. And one of my favorite movies as a kid was Sleeping Beauty. So these fairies are just adorable. So anyways, that's my big finish here that I'm showing you today. And then I have an antique sampler I wanted to show you. So I was fortunate, a few years back, with the way my job was, I was able to kind of acquire some old samplers, mostly off of eBay. And when I received them, the frames were all messed up and everything. This is one of them, so I took it and had it reframed. What's really neat about this mat is it's kind of a suede mat, and it just kind of makes the piece there, if I can see it. And this was from 1825, June 29th, 1825, Elizabeth Timms. So anyways, I just think this is a really beautiful thing. Anybody that is in the Orange County area, I had this framed at On the Wall Gallery and Frames in Santa Ana. They did a fabulous job. They did this, and they also did my village, a Hawkrun Hollow, that I'll show you another time. But I just wanted to show you these. I have another, I think I have a couple other ones that I'll show you during my next few FlossTube videos. But I have that in my office, and I just kind of on my one sampler wall. All right, I was going to kind of just briefly show you like 3 things that I have kitted up that I want to start at some point. One of them is Reflect de Soie Passion, and they show it in red. I like letters, and I think I said in my last one to have a sampler wall like all reds or all blacks, would just be phenomenal. But for some reason, when I ordered this, I didn't order red thread. I ordered, first of all, it's 36 count Silver Moon. And now I might try it on this just to see if I like it. Can't even, it kind of looks white here, but it's gray. And then the floss that I was going to use is Chester's Blue by Belsois. So I thought it would be different. As you can see here, my walls are gray. I like the gray fabric. But now I don't know, do I want to use blue or do I want to use red? I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can put a comment in there. Do you think the blue would be cool in that light gray? Or should I be traditional and stick with the red? I don't know. I mean, I really don't. I spent a fortune on that Belsois, so it's not like I want to, you know, go re-kit that up with silk threads. But, you know, I just kind of want someone's opinion or maybe reassurance that the blue will look good. So that's one that I have kitted up. I have not started it though. Another one that, once again, my daughter wants me to do is, are you guys, any of you familiar with Brooks Books, their Princess series, the Cinderella, their dresses? So I subscribe to this, and I have everything for the first one, the Krynick and everything. I was going to stitch this on 28 count opalescent Cashel. So it has the sparklies from my granddaughter's room. So this will get started hopefully maybe soon. I have too many things to start and that I want to stitch. There's just not enough time. Anybody else have that? Just saying. Okay, and then for samplers, I'm going to start by showing this one. I don't know, Mischievous Stitchers, Lori, have you done this one, 1809 Frances Eden? I don't know if you're an Adam and Eve sampler person. I love these Adam and Eve samplers, and I've been collecting Adam and Eve patterns for a long time. I have all this stuff for it. I think I have the linen is butter pecan, or pecan butter, sorry, 32 count. So it's a big piece of linen. And I'm just going to use DMCs on it. I think, you know who did this was Paulette from Plum Street. So, I don't know. This is a sampler I'd love to maybe start in 2018. But, you know, I want to get some of these other whips done too. It's like I kind of want to have something from each category. Like, I want to have like a sampler going, a long dog going, a Hawkrun Hollow series going, you know, just kind of one of each. And then as I finish one, then jump in, oh, okay, I finished that long dog, boom, another one, you know. But I don't know, we'll see how it works out. Okay, so I was going to talk about some haul, and sticking with the Mischievous Stitcher Lori, here's another pattern that I saw, and where I saw this is if you go to Floss Talk, they used to be a podcast only, and now they have their own FlossTube channel. I think I mentioned this in my last video, and they did a tour of the attic, a 30-minute tour of attic needlework. And attic needlework, for those of you who are unaware, they're in Mesa, Arizona, and they specialize in samplers. They have a newsletter that comes out like twice a month that you can view online in a PDF, and they have just tons and tons of samplers. If I could ever go there, I mean, that's like on my bucket list of places to go, but with maybe a blank credit card. so anyhow, this was one they were going around on Floss Talk. They took a tour, and Jean Lee, who is the owner, was explaining the history of some of these samplers, and I think this is one she showed, and she was just talking about this border, and this border is just really, really neat. So I found this pattern and would love to kit this up. Let's see, it uses Swattage and NPIs, and it's 231 by 235, so yay. another kind of big one, but that would be beautiful. So that's in my wish list. It's not kitted up, but maybe down the line. Okay, so I wanted to talk about McKenna and Michelle let's just start. Let me start again. So McKenna of Stitching and Sequins and Michelle Garrett of Bendy Stitches, they went to Las Vegas and they went to Stitcher's Paradise. And on Instagram, they started a live video, and it was like watching like the home shopping channel for cross stitch. So they were showing in the back room. They had tons and tons of like those magazine rack kind of storage things of charts of different designers, and they were pulling them out and showing everybody. And then you'd call in and have them hold them for you, and then pay later. So there is a couple of ones that I ordered. One of them I didn't see. I saw, but I didn't pay it much attention. Was the English Rose sampler from Jeanette Douglas. I thought it was going to be a little bit different than it is. I don't know. I guess I was excited about it. I don't know. Maybe not my favorite Jeanette Douglas, so I don't know if I'll keep this or not. But I did get the Good Housewife hooked rabbit pincushion. I do have several of the Good Housewife's charts that I've collected over the years. Maybe one day I'll show you those. I have a lot of those blackbirds, and I was fortunate to acquire a bunch of Carriage House samplings. And then the other one that I got was Birds of a Feather, and this is Les Printemps. And I have the other three of this series. They're really cute. They look like somebody drew this, and you're basically stitching the outline. But it's really interesting. I looked at this last night. Some of these, that one color, which is the sky color, which is the blue, takes 4 or more skeins of sky in Weeks Dye Works. Like, hello? I mean, it was going to, just the floss alone for Fancy Floss was going to be like, $50 some. So not something I'm going to jump into right away. And that it doesn't give a DMC conversion. I don't think. Let me look in here before no, there's no DMC conversion. It's all Weeks. So anyhow, those are the ones I purchased. There was a couple other ones, but I ended up that I had on hold, but I ended up not getting them because I kind of need to slow my roll. You'll see a lot of haul I'm going to show you here. I am looking at this as right now I'm in a situation to purchase haul. I would say next year and maybe the year after I won't be. So I am kitting up some things. I have a lot kitted up already that I could probably stitch enough for another couple more years without having to buy anything. But we all know we see a pattern come out and we want it. I'm not going to limit myself to that. If I see something I really want to have that comes out, I will probably purchase the pattern. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And whether I kit the full thing up, probably not. I did join. I kind of told you about the attic needlework. Hands Across the Sea samplers. She has a FlossTube channel, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now. I'm going without notes. So anyways, they have a club at Attic Needlework, so you get a discount if you join a club, but it means you have to get all the different samplers as they come out. So you don't have to kit them up, but if you do kit them up, you get a discount on that too. I have her latest one coming to me. They were waiting for some Verissois to come in, so hopefully I'll get that next week, and that will be something that I'm going to start in 2017. It's really pretty, and it only took like 7 different colors of the Verissois, so it wasn't like some of these where they cost, a couple $100 to kit up. Okay, so another thing I saw, and I think it was Nana Stitches. She's fairly new to FlossTube, and her and her daughter were stitching this, and I'll put the channels that I'm talking about down in the comments. This is an old Mirabilia, and I really love this because it's got like that French, you know, the French chateau with the French garden, and it just looks French, the alphabet. It's beautiful. And this one is called, just in case you wanted to know the name, I guess I could tell you that, if Le Nouveau Sampler, so the new sampler, so it is French. And I told you how much I like French stuff, so this will fall right in. And what's kind of cool about this is that my brown linen that I was going to use for that Perman sampler that I'm using, the 36 count, the whip that I showed you at the very beginning, I was going to do that on brown linen for some reason. Don't ask me why, but I changed my mind, and so I have a piece of that brown linen, and that brown linen I think is discontinued. So I'm going to use it for this. And sorry, I keep on and on. And I want to do another long dog. I have the pattern. It's the Castles in the Air, I think is the name of it. And that I want to do with brown linen. And I'm going to use this, I'm going to use a silk on it. And so Ju Designs on Etsy, that's XJU Designs, and she has an Instagram channel. Check her out. She has the most awesome fabric. And what I love about it is she has 40 count, she has 32, she has 28, and she'll custom dye for you. And she doesn't mind custom dyeing. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, if you see something and you can't, you know, I really want it to look this, or I want it to be yellowish and then have this to it. I mean, she'll dye it for you. She has one of the things that on her Instagram that I just saw yesterday, she's doing that Coffee Quaker by Heartstring Samplery, and she's doing it on a fabric called Grandpa's Sleeve. She's using 36 count. I might try it in 40. Well, maybe the 36 count that she was doing had good coverage, and she was using her own matte floss that she dyes, and it was incredible. So if you guys get a chance, go to XJU Designs. So it's all one word, and check out her Instagram if you guys do Instagram, and check out her Etsy store. And if she doesn't have something, like if you're looking for, oh, I really want this deep blue or whatever, just message her. And the shipping's reasonable. I know she just changed. It was if it was $35, she would or over, she would include the shipping. Now it's $50 or over. She's in Hungary, but the stuff came super fast. Like, you know, as soon as she said she was, you know, going to send it, I got it about a week. I mean, that's coming from Hungary to California, so pretty quick. All right, so I'm going to show you a couple more things. Sorry, I know if you guys don't like haul, you can switch it off. I usually don't have this much, and some of it I've had, but I didn't show much in my last video. So, all right, are you guys, any of you guys familiar with the M Designs letters? I don't know if you guys, I'm going to pull this one letter out here. This isn't the well, this is it. Okay. So these are these ornate alphabet series letters. I did one for my daughter like 10, 12 years ago. And I did it in a blue, like a gray blue water, I think it was water lilies, or it was water lilies. And it turned out beautiful. And I spent a fortune on the frame. Like, literally, I spent $300 to have it framed. And it wasn't that big. But the frame I got was a silver ornate frame. My daughter is in the process of moving. She's had, just to kind of give you a little background, sorry. She had a house fire shortly after she got married and had her first baby. And so they have been in between houses and for the last couple of years. So a lot of her stuff is in storage. I will see if she has it somewhere close that she could take a picture and send it to me, and I will definitely try and figure out how to put it up on here. If not, I'll also post it on my Instagram. But these turn out really great. So I'm going to do one for my granddaughter's room. I got this really pale pink. It's Lakeside, and it's called Vintage Rosewood, I think is what it's called. So it's just a real pretty it has a little bit of modeling in it, and it's just a real pretty pink. And I know the light is really harsh in here, but there you go. You can't really see. All right, and then I got this thread. It's Thread Gatherer's Crab Apple, and I just thought, you know, it's going to look really, really cool for her room. So I'm going to do the letter R. So, and then I also am going to do the letter B for my grandson's name is Bronson, and I have some what do you call it, linen and thread for that. Now, also, if you're interested in any of those designs, M Designs does have a Etsy shop, and she will send it to you via PDF, so you don't have to wait, I think. Okay, so this is Twilight Blue. This is 28 count. If I could find something in 40 count like this that matched this thread, then I would do it, but I just might suck it up and do it in 28 count. And it's Witchelt, I think, because it's like stiff as a board. But I just love these colors, so I was going to do the B for him in that, for Bronson. Gosh, you know, I'm only stitching, it seems like I'm only stitching for my daughter and my grandkids. Hello. I'm just kidding. What else are you supposed to stitch for, right? Okay. Now, I was enabled by Gerald the Ginger Stitcher, The Crowns of the Kingdom by Rosewood Manor. I did kit this up. I have the linen. I have the Petite Treasure braid. I am going to stay true to it, though. I'm going to do it on white. I'm not doing it on colored fabric. And I might be modifying some of these things. I might be using some beads. It does say in her pattern, she does say, you know, use, you know, kind of think outside the box and use beads if you want. So, sorry about that. I didn't mean to make it blurry. So I might get creative with this and use some, you know, some different beads on it. Now there was a stitch along that Lori at Mischievous Stitchers is doing for the Needles and Pins wedding sampler. I just think this is a really cute pattern. I'd seen it for a long time. I thought I had it in my stash and I didn't, so I caved and I bought it, and I got the 36 count vintage country mocha that I'm going to do it on. It's DMC, but it's just, once again, you know, if I don't know that I'm going to join the stitch along, but you definitely inspired me, Lori. Another Rosewood Manor that I just received, and there's kind of a story behind this because I saw somebody stitching this on Instagram, and it's baskets, and it's just beautiful. I mean, the colors are just, you know, just seeing someone stitch it does it so much more justice than looking at it in your cart or on 1 2 3 Stitch or whatever. So these are the Valdani threads. I had somebody, Cross Stitch Northerner on Instagram. You should check her out. Her stitching is amazing. She's doing this, and she converted these to silk. I love her conversion. She was having problems with the Valdanis, getting them to not break. I am going to try this. I got a deal with this, so if you're watching Cross Stitch Northerner, I did get a deal on these, and I'm going to try them. If they don't work out, then I'm going to use your conversion to silk. She was so nice to give me the conversion. You know, I just want to see how they stitch up. I know that you have to use, you know, you should use shorter strands. You don't have to ply this. It's already like a 3-ply. And they say doing it, well, the pattern I think is on a 28 count is what I'm going to do it on. Now that's where I'm having Jus Designs dye me a piece of fabric, and I'm going to do it with yellow, with pinky, purple, lavender, I don't know, some kind of thing that kind of incorporates some of these colors in the background. So we'll see. I'll show you the linen when I get it. It's not like I'm in a hurry to stitch it, but like I said, I did get a good deal on the whole thing. Okay, I'm almost done. I didn't mean for this to be the longest video ever, but okay, so I kind of told you guys last time, and I wanted to address, somebody had a question about French magazines. So the French magazines that I like Création Point de Croix, these magazines, you know, you can't get them here at, you know, Joann's or Barnes and Nobles or anything. And the only way I found to get them is on eBay. And this is one that I have loved for a long time. I love everything France, even though I've never been there, which I used to take French in school. And there is a design in here, if you could see this, that is like a tablecloth or table runner. And hopefully you can see. Anyways, I really like this whole little setup and the way, the fabric that it was stitched on. And the only way you can get it is there's a site called Les Brodeuse Parisiens. And they wanted a fortune to ship this, okay? And so, and I found it on eBay. This is funny. I found it on eBay, on the French eBay. I start bidding on it. It's not exactly this one. It's got like the Christmas motifs, but I didn't want it for the motifs. I wanted it just because I had the chart. I just wanted it for the fabric. I'm bidding on it, and it's like $30. So I'm thinking, okay, even with $10 shipping, it's cheaper than the other site wanted. Then I start to notice that she will not ship to the United States, and I'm in this bidding thing on it. I'm like, great, now I'm not going to even be able to get it because she's not going to ship it to me. So I message her, and somebody at the last minute outbid me, thank goodness. And I found this on, there's a site, there's somebody, she lives in South Korea. So if people are, you know, always afraid to buy from somebody out of the United States, like South Korea, China, whatever. I mean, I could see where you could be apprehensive. Her name is, it's J, initial J, and then Richer is the store. And I have ordered from her a couple of times. That's where I got this magazine from, and a couple of the other ones that I showed you. And then she happened to have this, and this also comes with, and I haven't opened it. I guess I can open it now. I kind of was waiting to show you. There is a pattern in here, and I don't know if it's the full pattern or if it's just for that border. So hold on here. Oh, it's the full pattern. Awesome. So it's going to have, I really thought this was cool, is look at that little border with the bows. How cute is that? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might put it out. I'd probably die if somebody spilled something on it, you know, but it's just so, oops, sorry. I need to show you the pattern. It's so adorable. It uses DMC, and I mean, the fabric is, you know, it's like a heavyweight tablecloth, and it even has, like, the edges are all, yeah, I'll show you. The edges are all finished, and I mean, so anyway, so that's another one of my little projects, huh? Well, when will I get to that one? Let me just tear that off and stick that in there. All right, and two more things to show you. Another Brooks Books. If you can kind of tell, I like everything pretty much cross-stitch. I love the Hay designs. I have my eye on one. It's the Venice by the Moonlight. It's like all in blues and greens, and the people have masks on, and I would love to do that one. Just a little intimidating, I guess. I need to go back and watch Jessie Marie's full coverage on, you know, how she's doing that to bite that off that and see if I can do it. But I really like this Brooks Books. Here's another one that I'm going to do. It's the Alice in Wonderland series. She has a channel on Etsy. That's the one that I showed you with the Cinderella and the princess gowns. And this, I love the colors in this. I mean, it's just, my printer looks like crap here. It printed it like crap. But if you go on her site and on Etsy and see it, it's just so cute. So I got into, she's super nice, by the way. Her name's Brooke Nolan. And she's really nice. She got back to me on a couple questions I had. And my main question is, she had recommended, and I'm looking down reading this, she'd recommended Denim Joblin. The color's denim, 28 count. And so I thought, oh, okay, I'll go on 123 Stitch and I'll, find it, right? Wrong. I mean, they had been out of stock on that for like months. And I hadn't bought the patterns, and then I caved and I got them, and then I go, where am I going to get the linen? So I lucked out the other day and I found this piece. It's a, let me find the tag here. It's a big piece. It is a piece of 32 by 25. And I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be big enough. It's 28 count. And I got it for $15. So, like, even if it doesn't work, I could use it for something else. So that's in my thing here. I did kit up the thread yesterday for them because I'd like to start Alice. If I can, maybe in January I could do a figure a month kind of thing. Yeah, I know it kind of seems overwhelming, doesn't it? All my stuff, but I just love it. I love cross stitch, as you can see. I mean, isn't kitting up half the fun? Picking the colors. I did start. I was going to mention something. I don't know if I have my book here. I guess I don't have it. I'll have to show it to you next time. I did start. I've been using X Stitch on the iPad or your iPhone to record like what your stash is, like what patterns you have, and it does help if I see somebody on Instagram or FlossTube and I'm wondering, oh, do I have that pattern? I can pop it open and look at it. But one thing I kind of finding, and maybe it'd be kind of cool to see people's comments here in the community. Like if you see someone's is stitching something and you number one like it, you don't want to get it right now. Where do you keep your wish list? I mean, 123 Stitch has a wish list. Do you keep it there? Do you write it down somewhere? Another thing, like different colorways. If you see somebody stitching a sampler, like a long dog, and you just love the colors, maybe you're not going to stitch that particular sampler, but you just love the colors. Like where do you write it down? I got a book yesterday, just kind of like a journal, and I started writing it down. I have like the colors that I like, different color groupings, the long dogs I like that I've seen that I, thinking about starting, and then, any other kind of, my whips. I'm also keeping track of my whips, when I started it and what day I worked on it. Just going to write it down. I keep it by my stitchy spot. I'm going to try it. I mean, I do use the computer and stuff, but if you're not by the computer and you think of something or you want to write down just the date that you're working on the project, I mean, to me, it might be easier to have something just to write it down in. Okay, so a couple last things here. I just wanted to show you this book for anybody that's a long dog sampler aficionado, favorites them, covets them. This book is Abby at Bella Stitch had this book, and that's what got me into this. And just to add something, if you are a long dog follower, Julia just noted on her Facebook group page that she is going to have a new website coming, and the new website is also going to have new patterns. So that's awesome. This book, however, I purchased for, I won't even say how much this book cost me. I got it on eBay. I got into a bidding war and I wanted this book. You cannot find this book. This book, it says it sells for 1990 euros, and this is from France. I had messaged Julia a couple years ago on this book, and she said it's out of print. She can't get any more. And it's incredible. This book is such a custom book. Like it has the patterns in here, and then all of the different designs that, that accompany it over here. So these are designs that she's never released, anywhere else. And I kind of justified it when you take how many, I think there's 10 patterns in here. If you take the 10 patterns and divide it, maybe it's not as much as I thought, but I really wanted this book, and it's kind of like my present to myself. So I told my daughter, and I think what I'm going to do, I think Abby brought up a good point, is to put this a note in here. Do not sell this, like, or put how much you paid for it, so that somebody, if something happens to you, they don't go and sell it for $19.90 somewhere. And it's like, yikes. And then the last thing I have here that I just quickly wanted to show that I was enabled from Chelsea, from Priscilla and Chelsea, is the Autumn ABCs. I'm going to try stitching this in hand, and I'm going to stitch it on 32 count old mill Java, so it's kind of a long piece here. And then these are the classic Colorworks threads for it, if you can kind of see. So I think I'm going to try maybe working on that this weekend. I think I said I was going to work on something else, but I was going to work on Hawkwood and Hollow. I'm going to work on all of them. I'm just going to do them all. Okay? Abby would do them all. Abby's like, stitch them all, stitch everything. So I'm going to stitch them all. Anyway, so that's pretty much my video this week. I wanted to give a shout out to one person, and it's, if you just give me 1 second, because I wanted to, it's Stitch Bliss Corner, and she's in Australia. And I want to just say, if you haven't checked out her channel, check it out. She has done a couple of floss tubes that are specifically about two designers. One of them is Martina Rosenberg, that is the owner of Chatelaine, and the other is Lavender and Lace, Marilyn Levette, what's it, Eblum? I forgot the other. It's 3 names. She has done a history on those two people, how they started designing, what makes up their design thoughts and everything. And Marilyn from Lavender and Lace passed away, unfortunately, in 2012. I think she was ill with something that she'd had for a long time. And I do have, before the end of the year, I am going to be getting a couple more of her patterns, specifically some of the angel patterns that she has. I really want to stitch the Angel of Love with all the Krynic and the beads and everything. It's just beautiful. But I just kind of think that sometimes, there's a lot of cute new designers that it's great and awesome, but a lot of the older designers, show them some love, even older patterns and magazines. I think it's great. And then just knowing the history about what we're stitching. That's kind of why I liked having this old antique samplers. Like, who was stitching this? What was she thinking? 1825? I mean, that's like, I was almost 200 years old, right? 1925, 2025, yeah, and pretty soon it's gonna be 200 years old. And I mean, I don't know. There's just something to this. There's something to this hobby that, I mean, I love doing crochet, and I've done scrapbooking in the past. I love that. But this is something that I think that who knows who could have it. I can pass it down to my granddaughter, can have them. I mean, my great-granddaughter, great-grandchildren. So just kind of wanted to give you my thoughts on that and kind of end with that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. My little Yorkie, his name is Vegas. Vegas. He's sleeping. All right. He is really sleeping. Vegas. Vegas. There. Anyways, his name happens to be Vegas. And he's a good guy, though. Look he was very quiet the whole time. He's just sitting on the blanket over there. And so sorry, I got a call. I just wanted to end the call. He's just a pretty good little guy. And anyways, sorry, I got kind of sidetracked. I just wanted to end by thanking everybody for watching my channel. Thank you for the encouraging comments. Subscribe. If you want to know when I'm going to have another video, all you have to do, there's a little bell on my channel, and you just click on it. And what it will do is it'll send you a notification by email or however you're connected with YouTube, letting you know that there's a new video up. And that goes with anybody. I mean, you can do that with any of the floss tubers. That kind of lets you know when their video's up. You don't have to go through everyone and see if they have a new a new recording. But thank you so much, and I will be back in a week or two with a new update. And keep on doing all the projects, and I look forward to seeing more of you join FlossTube. It's just great. Thanks so much, and have a great weekend. Bye.